Hello, REALTOR University Master of Real Estate students. In this video in this series, REALTOR University LibTips, a series where we present common student research scenarios and provide quick and easy solutions, we will cover how to structure headers and pages for the RE600 Capstone course project. These are the requirements as of October of 2013. Please note that these requirements are always subject to change, so please double check your course project requirements. Let's take a look at the requirements. It says the thesis should allow for the guidelines of APA 6th edition. Margins should be 1 inch. Font should be Times New Roman 12 point, which is standard for APA 6th. The preliminary pages need to have a Roman numeral centered between the left and right margins, placed in the footer region. The title page is assigned a numeral that is not placed on the page. For all pages in the main body of the manuscript, use Arabic numerals on the top right margin. Typeface of the page numbers should match the manuscript font, and do not use running heads. I've pulled these requirements apart into separate checkboxes, and we will apply these to an example paper. So the first two steps we'll take a look at are margins in 1 inch, font Times New Roman 12 point. I will pull up my example paper, and it's just a quick and easy way to set your margins and your font to match in your document. And you should probably do this before you turn any papers in the REALTOR University program in anyway. So you hold your control key while you're clicked into your document, hold your control key, click on A, and that is select all. So now you can see I've selected all of the text in my document. It's highlighted in blue. I will click to the Home tab, and I will select Times New Roman 12 point. I will go to the Page Layout tab, and under Margins, click the drop down. Make sure that they're selected at 1 inch. And now I've met the first two requirements here. The next section about pages and getting everything right is a little tricky, so we'll just work our way through it. So it says preliminary pages must have a lowercase Roman numeral page number in the footer section, which is the bottom of the page, centered on the page. And the title page is assigned a number, but that number is not going to be on the page. So how do we make that happen? I'm going to click into the footer section. You can also always go Insert Footer, but I just like to double click into the section. If you just double click kind of in this bottom part in Microsoft Word, it'll get you into the footer. You can see the next page is the header section. I'm going to click on Insert, Page Number, Bottom of Page, and I want it centered. However, this is an Arabic numeral, not a Roman numeral, and it's also in the wrong font. It's not Times New Roman 12 point, so we have to change some things around. So I select it. We're going to right click, Format Page Numbers, select the option for lowercase Roman numerals, which is what it requests. I'm going to start at page 1. Okay. And then we're going to format the font to be Times New Roman 12 point. Enter. Now that looks nice, but like I said, first page needs to be different. First page shouldn't have a page number on it. I'm going to double click, and we're on the first page, so we have the option to say different first page. Check that checkbox, and now first page doesn't have a page number on it. Let's see and just make sure that the page numbers happen on the second page. Perfect. So on the second page we have a Roman numeral, and it starts on page 2. Perfect. So we've met this Roman numeral requirement. Title page has a number not placed on the page. However, we've got some tricky extra things to do. Main pages of the manuscript must have Arabic numerals in the header section on the right side of the page. So now we have a little trick that we have to do. We have to insert a section break because we want to change some things around. And also we want it to start on page 1. We don't want it to start on page 5, where is what the system would do unless we insert a section break. So I'm going to click onto the page before my title page, and actually delete that. And here I'm going to go page layout, click the Breaks drop-down menu, select Next Page, and now if I double-click into the footer, you can see here, Footer Section 1, Header Section 2. So I created a section break. So that will allow me to create some different page numbers than what you see in the above sections. And already with the section break, you can see there are no Roman numerals in the footer, except there is here. So this is where it gets a little tricky. I'm going to double click here. What you can see is it says link to previous. So this is really going to trip you up and it might take you a little while playing around with this. Unlink it. So now it's unlinked and I can delete that. Sometimes the headers will also be linked. So here this header, when I double click into it, is linked to the previous. So I want to unlink it. Okay, so now if I scroll through, the main pages of my manuscript don't have any page numbers on them yet. So let's go ahead and add them in. I'm going to double click into the header section, insert, page number, top of the page, right. Because we use Roman numerals above, it's thinking that that's what we want again. So here it's got a Roman numeral, but we need Arabic numerals. So select the page, right click, format page numbers. In the drop down, select Arabic numerals. And we want it to start at page 1. So yours may not automatically be checked like this, but we want it to start on page 1 because this is the first page of the manuscript. And again, it's not the right font. It's not Times New Roman. So I select it, go to the Home tab, Times New Roman, 12, enter, and now that looks good. Let's scroll through and make sure everything else looks good. Okay, so I think we have different first page checked for this section as well. So we actually don't want a different first page. So I click into here on the first page of my manuscript and I uncheck that, which is going to make me add page numbers again. So insert, page number, top of page, top right, select it, Times New Roman, 12, enter. All right, let's just scroll through and take a look. So we've got first page of the manuscript has page 1, previous section has the Roman numerals. Scroll down, this is looking good. Okay, so page 2 has a number 2 on it, 3, and so forth. Okay, so this looks good. Let's just re-reference those requirements again. Margins 1 inch, we did that. Font Times New Roman 12 point, we did that. Preliminary pages with Roman numerals in the footer section, centered, did that. Title page is assigned a number, but it's not placed on the page, did that. Main pages of the manuscripts have Arabic numerals in the header section, on the right side of the page. Did that. Typeface of all page numbers should match manuscript. We made it all Times New Roman 12 point. And then it says not to use running heads. So this is not actually standard APA 6 formatting. This is the instructor's requirement for this course. So that's something where you just want to reference and confirm with any instructor for these extra little requirements. Sometimes the professors don't like running heads. Sometimes they want your paper titled in a specific way. Sometimes they want you to include a table of contents and an abstract, other times not. Always double check with a professor whenever you have any questions about the structure of the paper. Taking a look at our paper again, you can see there are no running heads, and that's just what the instructor requested. Another thing the instructor requested is for the main sections of the paper to start on a fresh page. So my literature review starts at the top of page 3. My methodology starts at the top of page 24. Implications and conclusions start at the top of page 34. References at the top of page 35. And then she also requested in this course, the instructor, that you put an appendix cover page prior to any appendices. So Appendix A has its own cover page in this case. Keep scrolling down, and Appendix B has its own cover page. So these are requests of the instructor. So it's always good to just double check and make sure that what you're doing is in line with what the professor is requesting that you do. That concludes this video in the REALTOR University Library's LibTips video series. Stay tuned for future videos in this series where we will cover a variety of research and writing topics of interest to REALTOR University students. And of course, please do not hesitate to contact us for research guidance, ideas, and much more. We also have a writing center for help with papers and assignments.